Very good morning to one and all present here. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. We as humans have come a long way through collaboration and innovation. Amidst all that's happening around the world right now, connecting virtually with people around us and everyone's presence and effort towards this conference depicts how to make positive out of everything. Having said that, I extend my very warm welcome to all the chief guests, principal, vice principals, HOD, faculties, and each and everyone present here for the second International E-Conference on Information, Communication, and Networking. To initiate this ceremony with an auspicious tone, I call my fellow student Nityasri to sing an invocation song.
श्रीविघ्नराजं भजेऽहं भजे तमिह श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे सन्ततमहं कुञ्जरमुखं शङ्करसुतं तमिह श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे सन्ततमहं तन्तिसुन्दरमुखं हन्तकान्तकसुतं श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे सेवितसुरेन्द्रमहनीय गुणशीलं जपदपसमाधिसुखवरदानुकूलं पावितसुरमणिगणभक्तपरिपालं भयङ्करविषङ्गमातङ्गकुलकालं श्रीविघ्नराजं कनककेयूरहारावली गलित गम्भीर गौरगिरिशोभं सुशोभं वल्लभलितमूरमत कलिकलुषखण्डितमखण्ड प्रतापं सनकसुख नारद पतञ्जलि पराचरमतङ्गमुनिशङ्ग सल्लापम् सत्यपरमर्जनयन प्रमुद मुक्तिकर तत्त्वमसि नित्य निगमादि स्वरूपं श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे श्रीविघ्नराजं भजेऽहं तमिह श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे
Thank you for the wonderful song, Nityasri. I now call upon Dr. Kanaga Subbaraja sir to facilitate the lighting of Kuttuvilakku.
Thank you, Moniz. Now I welcome our chief guest, Oswaldo Hervasi sir, to light the Kuttuvilakku, sir. Okay. So next, I welcome our chief guest, Dr. K. Sivakumar sir, in NIT Data Services, USA, to light the Kuttuvilakku, sir. Sir, wait, sir. Yes, thank you, sir. So next, I welcome our management representative, Dr. N. Sethuraman sir, to light the Kuttuvilakku, sir. Thank you, sir. Next, I welcome our beloved Vice Principal Admin, sir, to light the Kuttuvilakku, sir. Anandakumar, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Next, I welcome our beloved HOD ma'am to light the Kuttuvilakku, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Now that we have set the proper tone, I now invite our beloved HOD of IT, Dr. Anandi ma'am, to deliver the welcome address.
Yeah. Thank you, Monish. Good morning to one and all present here. I'm Dr. Anupri, Head of Department of Information Technology. On behalf of Department of Information Technology, it's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to you all. Your presence makes us very happy. On the outset, I thank our management for providing opportunity to conduct the virtual international conference on information, communication and networking, e-ICICN 2021.
Bad fellow.
So I'm getting notes. We started the first version of this conference, ICICN, in the year 2010 as national level. And every year we are conducting this, and from last year onwards, it evolved as international one. And today's chief guest is Professor Osvaldo Gervasi, University of Perugia, Italy. Sir, thank you so much for sparing your valuable time with us. With thankful heart, I welcome you for the inaugural function of our conference. And our guest of honor, Dr. K. Sivakumar, sir, Entity Data Services, Dallas, Texas. Sir, it's our privilege to have you as our guest of the day. With immense pleasure, we welcome you, sir. We are conducting a lot of events with energetic and enthusiastic way. The secret of our enthusiasm is the support provided by our management, principal, and vice principal. So I welcome our management representative, sir. He is a great person with a huge experience. He supports and encourages us abundantly. Thank you, sir, for your constant motivation, and with great pleasure, I welcome you, sir. I welcome our principal, sir. He is the person who always motivates, encourages, and supports us. And I welcome our vice principal admin, sir, who always stands with us in all our activities. I'm very much glad, sir, to welcome you. I welcome our IKSC coordinator, and while conducting any events, our head of departments for always encouraging me with a happy heart. So I welcome all our head of the departments for this event. And the co-convener, Dr. K. Kanagasubbaraja, sir, he has tirelessly worked for this conference. With his commitment and involvement, this event turned as a successful one. Thank you, sir, and I welcome you for the conference. I'm happy to welcome our sincere and hardworking conference coordinator, Mr. Balaji. Yeah, I wish to mention my faculty for always the backbone of success of any event. My heartfelt thanks, and with great pleasure, I welcome all my faculty, my students who are always the great support for us. I welcome all our students for the conference with a happy heart. Last but the most, dear participants, we welcome you all for the conference. And I thank you all for your overwhelming response, which made our conference a very successful one. We have received around 380 papers. Among them, we have shortlisted 280 papers for presentation in this conference. We hope this conference would serve as a forum to promote the exchange of ideas and advancements in information, communication, and networking technologies in research and development perspectives. Once again, I welcome you all for the inaugural function. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You really comprised everything that we have put into this short, sweet lines. I now welcome Dr. Kanagasubbaraja, sir, to give an overview of this conference.
Good morning. A very good morning to our respected chief guest, our management representative, our principal, vice principals, all deans and HODs, IQAC coordinator, faculty members, and my dear participants. First, I welcome you all for the second International E-Conference on Information Communication Networking, e-ICICN 2021. And it's an honor and privilege to have two eminent personalities, Professor Osvaldo Gervasi, University of Perugia, Italy, and Dr. K. Sivakumar, Entity Data Services, USA, and who have accepted our invitation and joined with us for this inaugural ceremony. With all their blessings, we begin the international conference today. So far, our department has conducted many national and international conferences, and this is the second time we are conducting international conference in online mode. Last year also, we conducted this conference online mode because of the pandemic situation. And in our conference, we have personalities from different countries who will be delivering keynote talks. Today, we have a keynote talk by Professor Dr. Korhan Cengiz, Trakya University, Turkey. And tomorrow, we have another 2 keynote talks to be delivered by Dr. S.A. Amala Nirmal Das from Muscat. And second one is Rose Oviya from USA. The success of the conference lies in the hands of participants who have given great response. We started call for papers in the month of February 2021, and within a very short span of time, we have received 380 papers. Out of 380 papers, we have selected 280 papers for presentation. And we have organized the paper presentation session to the various streams like machine learning, data science, Internet of Things, cyber security, and image processing. And we have invited professors from reputed colleges as a lecturer for e-ICICN. And the extended version of all the presented papers will be sent to Scopus Indexed Journal for publication. And last year, we published 63 research articles in Scopus Indexed Journal through our conference. This year also, we expect to publish a good number of papers in Scopus Indexed Journal. And finally, I wish all the best to the participants. And I am sure this conference will be a good opportunity to present your ideas and learn new things from other researchers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are all looking forward to that keynote speeches. I now request our Vice Principal Admin, Dr. Anand Kumar, to deliver the presidential address.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Very good morning to one and all present here. I'm very happy and glad to be part of this second international e-conference on information, communication and networking 2021. Definitely the objective of this conference is going to be serve the betterment of the society. I cordially welcome today's chief guest, Professor Osvaldo Gravasi from Italy, Dr. K. Shivakumar sir from USA, Dr. Korhan Cengiz from Turkey, and Dr. S.A. Amala Nirmala Das from Oman. On behalf of management and the principal, I extend once again my cordial welcome to all the chief guest, guest of honor and keynote speaker of this today conference. Since the principal is in traveling for an important assignment to Trichy, he is unable to join. He conveyed his wishes to all the participants for this conference. Today's chief guests are crowns who decorates and added value to this event. Sir, we sincerely thank and welcome all the Jains on behalf of our management once again. We are very eager to listen and wish to continue your guidance and support always for us to build a better institution and society. For a kind information to the chief guests and all the participants, we Easwari College started in the year 1996. We are more than 25-year-old college. Now we are in autonomous status. We are offering 11 UG courses, including the trending courses like artificial intelligence and data science, biomedical, robotics, in addition to the computer science and IT, all other UG courses. And also we are offering 6 PG courses. We are also research nodal center recognized by the Anna University. We are NBA, NAC and ISO certified institution. I proudly says we are one among top 10 institutions across Tamil Nadu and especially leading in Chennai. With this note, I once again congratulate the HOD IT, Dr. Anandi ma'am, coordinator Dr. Kanang Subbaraja, and all other faculty members of IT departments and also I extend my warm welcome to all the participants. See, definitely this platform is going to serve for the next 2 days to know the latest trend in communication and networking. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. I now call our management representative, Dr. Sethuraman, sir, to share a few words.
Very good morning to everybody. Am I audible to? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I
Audible, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay. Very good morning to everyone. At the outset, I thank the IT HOD and the faculty of the department for having given me an opportunity to share my thoughts. Distinguished chief guests and other participants, my colleagues. Easwari Engineering College is known for its quality and offering programs and conducting various seminars on important topics. Today also in the second international conference, you have chosen information, communication and networking. For the information of the distinguished audience, in fact, I am traveling. Networking is effective. I will be able to communicate whatever I feel. Likewise, others may also be online. They will be able to communicate. Arranging such a kind of conference, whether it is international or national, for the benefit of students and faculty, to have close network, to exchange their views and ideas, which later may be converted for some other important projects. In this conference, yesterday when I was invited by the HOD, Dr. Ananthi, I asked her, when you listen to various speakers, how you are going to convert this into publications, which will be useful not only to the students of this college, to the students community and the faculty in particular. So I appeal to our own speakers and other participants to give a good thought to the students and the faculty, so that as we are living in a society wherein communication and networking play a very important role, I hope and wish this conference will definitely achieve this aim. I am happy that the department has organized second international conference. I wish many more conferences to be conducted, wherein speakers from different parts of the country, from various institutions in and out of country, should participate and exchange their views and ideas, which would be useful to the student community. Thank you for giving me this opportunity once again. Thank you. I wish you all the best. Thank you. Over to Ananthi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Monish?
Thank you for taking your valuable time to share your words, sir. I request Mrs. Chandra ma'am to introduce our chief guest, Professor Osvaldo Gevasi.
A very good morning to one and all present here. First of all, I thank everyone for giving me this wonderful opportunity to introduce our esteemed chief guest for our international conference today. I find immense pleasure in introducing our honorable chief guest, Dr. Osvaldo Gervasi, Associate Professor and Deputy Director of the Department of Mathematics and Computational Science, University of Perugia, Italy. He is well known for his research work in the field of computational science, high-performance computing, virtual reality, artificial intelligence for a period of around 20 years. He has published around 120 research papers in several reputed journals and have edited 90 books with a citation count of around 1,700. In the past 2 decades, he has been a co-chair and guest speaker for several international conferences held at various countries like Singapore, Malaysia, UK, Italy, South Korea, Japan, Canada, and China. He is an active member of several professional societies, which includes ACM Senior Member, IEEE Senior Member, Member of Internet Society, ISOC, and co-founder of the ISOC Italian chapter, and member of the Web3D Consortium. And also, he was the president of the Open Source Competence Center, CCOS, of the Umbria region, Italy, and the Document Foundation, TDF deputy board member during the year 2018 and 19. Very grateful to him for accepting our invitation and being a part of our international e-conference on information and communication networking. Thank you very much, sir. And with that being said, I now request and invite our honorable chief guest, Dr. Gervasi, to deliver the inaugural address.
Good morning to everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me to this nice conference, a very important conference. I want to share my my presentation. Are you able to see the slides?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Thank you again for inviting me and for your nice word introducing me. The subject of this short presentation is challenges in computing, because you know that in the present, sorry, what happened? Okay. Sorry for. Um, um, Life science in the recent years has pushed the research and demand a continuous amount of computing resources. We started with cluster computing many years ago. Then we exploit the grid computing facilities. It was a tremendous opportunity for researchers to share computational resource and also programs and research. And then we exploit the GPU computing. Is an interesting approach where we program the GPU cards in order to achieve to carry out a computation of type of several type of application, like for example cryptography and many other fields that fit in the single instruction SIMD multiple data approach. So for along this direction, we now are living in the cloud era, and the cloud is a tremendous innovative infrastructure that allows to people to access computational resources in a ubiquity and from any location in any time. And cloud computing now demonstrated a very important approach. So we are able to we started with virtualization technology, and now we are living in the era of containers. Containers are a tremendous approach because we are able to study a complex problem like delivering a complete complex web application, for example, in different pieces. So we have the container for the database, we have container for the web interface. So we can concentrate in small parts instead of managing the whole software dependencies and problems. So and furthermore, cloud now is able to scale, so people can write applications considering that if the amount of user connect to the web page, the cloud infrastructure is able to scale horizontally, so they can launch more instances of the Docker images so that they can afford any type of load regarding the web app. But considering these new approaches, we have also to consider new programming schemes in order to take benefit of the large amount of computing power available. Nowadays, if we take a look to the top 500 list, we see that most of the large computational facilities combine several technologies like GPU computing and as a very strong, efficient network infrastructure, and are able to connect a very large number of nodes. There are several fields that are pushing other computational resources. For example, Industry 4.0 will generate for sure a demand of new computational resources. For example, motor industry in several fields will take benefit of this large amount of computational resources. The advantages will be for the companies, a reduction in production time, and increased product quality, a low production of prototypes. Computational sciences take benefit of high performance computing because it's a continuous loop among the various phases. We experiment, from the experiment we have some properties to mimic with the theory, so we establish a model, theorizing and modeling, and finally computing, and we can compare the outcome of our programs with experimental results, and iterating this in this way the science is progressing, and we have the possibility to study with the model several properties that are not directly cannot be obtained directly from the experiments. And particularly is in this period of pandemic, those models allow us to have important advantages in order to control this process of pandemic. According to the HPC, high performance computing approach, we may have two different main category of programs: computational intensive applications and data intensive applications. They are very different, the one from the other, and we have to we can deploy resources according to these two categories. When we have a data intensive application, quite often we may use a single instruction multiple data approach, taking benefit, for example, of the GPUs which have a very large number of cores, are able to execute the same code in the same time. So, for example, ciphering a very large file is quite straightforward because the various core can act on different parts of the file and produce the ciphered file. So we may apply parallelism on the input data, adopting a domain decomposition on the input data. On the other part, the computational intensive approach often uses batch queues in order to execute in parallel the various programs. When we execute in parallel the program, the parallelism induce some complexity, of course, because depends on the degree of parallelism we are considering. But there are still other branches of the research that are pushing towards the exascale computing. Now, we in the last list we had the first computing center in Japan that exploit the exascale computing. That means 10 to 18 floating point operation per second. Just to mention the Human Brain Project, the Smart City approach, because that means large amount of data with sensors that have to be exchanged and elaborate quite very, very quickly. And then life science that continue to exploit any type of computational resources because it's simply a matter of extending the complexity of the simulation. And weather forecasting, of course, is one of the main disciplines that pushes against the need of having very efficient computational resources. In the cloud approach, we have several possibilities to adopt the cloud facilities, starting from the Metal as a Service, where we adopt essentially the very low level approach. So we have the full control on any part of our infrastructure. Starting from that, we have the infrastructure as a service, where we control essentially the virtual machine so we control the operating system, all other components inside the virtual machine. Then we have the platform as a service and the software as a service that are continuous abstraction, and we going up, so increasing the abstraction, we lose the control on the infrastructure, but we have of course, a simplified task to manage our application. In this context, as I said before, is fundamental quite new technologies that allows to exploit very large computational facilities, the container and the serverless technology. Particularly the serverless technologies has been introduced by Amazon Web Services. And in all these cases, we have the opportunity of concentrate our management and development task only to a small part of the program. So deploying an application in this using this approach is quite straightforward and very efficient and fast. And we can really appreciate the approach of paying the approach of elasticity of the cloud, and we are able to pay for the research for the resources we need, and without any waste of money and financial resources. So let me present some thoughts regarding new approaches that are emerging finally in the high performance computing field. One is the quantum computing that become a reality starting from 2016 by the work of IBM, who released the IBM Q program and made available quantum computer to the general research. So the other point is that research is pushing for having new materials, new approaches in order to get most advanced computer facility. I mentioned the research of Professor Subhashish Mitra from Stanford University, who realized a proof of concept of a wafer based on carbon nanotubes. Carbon nanotubes promise to be a very most powerful infrastructure for making semiconductors instead of silicon. So this is a new frontier that opens to us in order to have much more efficient computational resources. Quantum computing finally reaches a production phase. So starting from IBM, but now there is a very intensive competition among the big player of the IT worldwide. So Google and Microsoft and others, Intel and others, who are competing in order to get the most powerful quantum computer. The idea of quantum computer is tremendously innovative because based on the physics of the quantum theory, we do not have anymore the bit, so with the two states 0 and 1, but we have we talk about probability, and according to quantum computer, the eigen solution of the Schrödinger equation are not only the solution themselves, but any linear combination of them. So we do not talk anymore about bit, but we talk about qubit, and qubit is represented by a sphere, and we may have different representation of the information. This is called superposition. The other property, very interesting and extraordinarily interesting for quantum, is the entanglement property. The entanglement allows to various qubits which are in the entanglement state to carry on the same computation simultaneously. So it improves. This is an example of qubits which are in the entanglement state, so they are able to carry on a computation simultaneously. So this will change radically the scenario of high performance computing in a very radical way. I mentioned here the platform made available by IBM. It's called Qiskit. Here you can connect, you can mimic the quantum computer, and then you have the possibility to access one of the quantum computer made available for general public, for research, of course. So this is tremendously useful for students that are that want to exploit this new approach. So it's an open source project, and you can access to the documentation and try to play with the quantum computer. So this debate now has been led by Google, who announced the 72 qubit universal quantum computing in 2018, and they start the quantum competition. Another important company is IonQ, which was able to produce a 79 qubit quantum computer, and using this machine has been already published some paper. In this case, for example, quantum physics has been carry on the study of the ground state energy estimation of the water molecule, and another study reproduced provide some, and there are other studies that study real properties of the matter using quantum computers. So this is an announcement made by IonQ. which announced the most powerful quantum computer. Every company of this pool is trying to announce the most powerful computer. This is another example, still from Bryce Cohn from Google, and also Google announced the quantum computer which achieved the chemistry calculation milestone. And this is again regarding IBM Q project, as 53 qubits. But IBM, starting 2016, already sold several computers for industry and companies. And this is the milestone of IBM. So you can see that year by year, the number of qubits are increasing dramatically. So this is really a very strong and powerful resource made available to the community. Another company is QTech that made also is based on Netherlands in Europe, and they are collaborate with Intel, and also in this case we have the opportunity to have the possibility of exploit the use of quantum computers in an efficient way. So let me finish my presentation inviting the researchers, if you want, to the conference I'm chairing. That we moved the date in September. So if researcher of this conference want to also to apply to the International Conference Computational Science and Application, they are welcome, and we publish on Springer lecture notes in computer science, so indexed by Scopus and many other bibliometric and companies, and also in IEEE. So this is the end of my introduction. I wish you all the best for this two-day intense conference and presentations. And thank you so much again for inviting me.
Thank you so much for that very informative presentation, sir. Hope everyone got something out of it. I request Mrs. Sandhya, ma'am, to introduce our second chief guest, Dr. K. Shivakumar.
Yeah, good morning everyone present here for our International E-Conference ICICN 2021. I'm very much privileged and thankful for the opportunity to introduce our chief guest, Dr. K. Shivakumar. And we are very much honored this morning by the presence of our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. K. Shivakumar, Architect Specialist Advisor, NTT Data Services, Texas, USA. He is well known for his work in the field of cybersecurity with specialities like dev security apps, integrated security testing and automation, risk-based threat management, information management, and security metrics. He is an innovative and strategic technology leader in implementing and developing new generation security solutions. He has nearly 10 years of academic experience and also 11 years of industry experience too. He pursued his PhD in the field of computer science from IIT Roorkee, India, with a government scholarship from the Department of MHRD, that is Ministry of Human Resource. He has developed and managed many solutions for dev security apps, IoT, API services, and app container requirements. He created many enterprise security policy, procedures, guidelines, and reports at organization level. He has done with so many certifications, which includes CISM, CEH, Big Data Associate, SourceFire, TOGAF 8.0, Envision, and Qualys Guard. Towards his honors and awards, he got Best Manager Award in the year of 2013 from Cognizant Technology Solutions and Best Contributor to KNet and Feature on the CAP Award from Wipro Solutions. He got an Appreciation Award from US Army Camp 2 times for his great work in the field of cybersecurity. And he has published many papers in well-reputed journals and conferences in the field of cybersecurity. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation. We are very much privileged to welcome you for our International E-Conference on Information, Communication and Networking 2021. With that note, I welcome Dr. K. Shivakumar sir to address the gathering. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you very much for a warm welcome. My sincere good morning to Professor Rose from Italy. Thank you very much, sir, for your interest. I understand it's being in a very early morning for you and able to participate in this conference, and your presence makes a big difference. And it's early morning for me, for you, and it's almost 12 p.m. midnight for me. And whereas in India, it's early morning, it's a mid morning. So it's really an international conference where people from all time zones, we are able to join together and with a common interest of creating some aspirations to the budding researchers and the students who are there in the conference. I'd like to thank Mr. Balaji, who is a great friend of mine, who is the person who has invited me. Thanks, Balaji, for getting me connected to this event. And also Dr. Kanak Subaraja, who is really enthusiastic and following me for many times and able to get me connected to the conference. Thank you very much. I may not be taking much of your time. I know it's an introduction call and it's an inaugural function. And I'd like to take only 10 minutes of my time and creating the areas of interest that would help. Probably the participants in the conference, you have your own research areas, but still I would like to, being a person with the experience both at the academic and also the industry, see whatever the research that is being done, even though it has an academic background, academic interest, unless otherwise you could able to make money out of the research that you are making, the industry doesn't welcome it. Industry want to generate, for every dollar spent, the return of investment for the dollar spent should be at least $80 to $100. So you spend 6 to 8 years of your valuable research time, and you are coming out with your valuable findings and thesis. And if you really see whether all these researches that are done at academic level are really meeting the requirements of the industry. So that's what my next 10 minutes are going to be. So the research, what we do now, beautiful presentation by the professor from as well, from Italy. I really learned many things in the quantum computing and the mathematical applications in the various fields of computer science. And some of the keywords that I was very happy to hear from him are the cloud technologies, serverless applications, containerizations. These three are words, or maybe I see most expected for the next 5 to 10 years in the industry. So the industry is going to be ruled with following items. One, most of the enterprise applications, being a computer science department and IT department, I would like to say there is a paradigm shift from developing enterprise applications into cloud-based applications. Most of the legacy applications are getting migrated to cloud-based applications. So what happens? What is the space on the research here? So there are too much of research that are going to happen, need to be worked around it. One is, as long as when you say it is an enterprise applications, you are supported with a continuous heavy in-house private data centers, and applications are very huge in size. Whereas when you migrate or when you are creating new applications in the cloud, the industry is moving towards cloud native applications. For many of the participants, it may be a new word. What do you mean by cloud native applications? The applications which are developed using the technical stacks which are provided by the cloud service providers for the cloud, by the cloud, to the cloud, and to the users of the cloud. So instead of generating an enterprise applications with millions of lines of code, you are going to develop a single page applications. I think that word has been introduced. Serverless applications, function-based applications, microservices-based applications. All these applications has to be hosted on containers. So much research need to be done in the area of containerizations of these applications. How you are going to manage these containers, how you are going to communicate between the containers and where you are going to host these containers within a virtualized environment, either at a performance level, whether these containers are efficient, or whether at a security level, what could be the new areas of vulnerabilities. The attackers are very smart now. They want to attack your containers in the cloud, and there are easy possibilities of or avenues of attacks are possible as long as your applications are available in the container format. And when you are going to use serverless applications, repeatedly, I'm using certain words because at the end of these 10 minutes, I just want you to carry out few terminologies that I am talking about, and probably you can dwell into the research in those areas. So what I'm talking about is when you say the single page applications, serverless applications, they are mostly going to use APIs for exchanging the data. And the days of using APIs are getting diminished, and more microservices-based applications are coming into the picture. When you are trying to use microservices-based applications, then again, the entire thought process of building an enterprise application need to be changed. You have to build an applications which is of microservice, which leverages microservices, which can be available at all time. The latency of those applications has to be as minimum as possible, and it has to be highly secure. So when I want to say repeatedly calling these things, how you can introduce the security for these APIs? Too much of research are going to happen in OAuth2, may I repeat, OAuth2, OAuth, number 2.0, OIDC, OpenID Connect, SAML, SAML. Some of the protocols are going to gain or already gained momentum, and much of the research can be happened in these areas in OAuth, SAML, OpenID Connect, OIDC, and in all new set of protocols that are going to help your microservices communications and in API securities. These are the certain areas where much of research is focused. And if your research is in these areas, and if you could come out with a novel idea of developing either at the performance level or security level, and you can present it to the industry, then there is a good hope that you could be absorbed on the industry. Being a researcher, I'm fine, you are working on the academy, but when you want to get yourself rewarded monetarily and you want to work on the industry, some of these areas seems to help you. The other area where I find the most demand in the US market is industrial IoT. So I did see there is a separate domain IoT, and you people are submitting the research on IoT, whereas industrial IoT is getting momentum, particularly the industrial IoTs and medical IoT, and on IoTs leveraged in automated vehicles, connected vehicles, driverless vehicles, automated buildings, smart cities, smart buildings, and all these areas which is going to attract or generate a business of trillions and trillions of dollars worldwide. Connected vehicles, driverless vehicles, and industrial IoT, smart building, smart cities. So they are not in a single segment. You are supposed to understand the fundamentals of programming. You are supposed to understand the fundamental of electronics. You need to be strong in mathematics. You need to, if you are going to be on medical IoT, you need to have a strong knowledge in biological sciences. And if you are going to be in automated vehicles or connected vehicles, you need automotive components. You need to be strong in automobile and mechanical devices, CAN networks. So you need to have an exposure in not only on programming languages, which is a common mistake that a new generation computer science or IT students make. You are supposed to have an overall knowledge in the subjects beyond the computer sciences and programming, whether it's an electronics, whether it's in mechanical, whether it's in a biological science, or whether it is going to be an automobile. You are supposed to have at least a minimum knowledge on those fields and try to leverage those knowledge in your developmental activities. Then you are going to find a right space, what right problem on your research. And my advice, or maybe my wish, I cannot say an advice, my wish is all the researcher, you should be able to generate as much as money possible in terms of dollars after your completion of a research, becoming a doctor, and come out with a product that is going to serve the industry, and it is going to solve a major problem in the industry and able to generate revenue in hundreds of thousands of dollars to you. So with that, I would like to stop my discussion or my talk. And I have my email ID shared with Balaji and Dr. Kanak Subaraja. So if you want to do certain research in any of the topics that I have been talking about, let me repeat, if it is in a serverless computers, serverless applications, single pages applications, API security, API gateways, and SAML authentications, or you are going to work on OAuth2, or you are going to work on OIDC, or you are going to work on automated vehicles, or you are going to work on connected vehicles, or you are going to work on industrial IoT, or you are going to work on medical devices IoT security. If any of these areas seems to be interested, I'm not saying I'm so good in all these areas, but I have a connect in people who are working in those areas. I could be able to connect you to the right people, help you in doing research in those areas. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and all the faculty members and the management who have organized this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And our faculty members and our college collaborate with your industry to do the research work, sir. Thank you, sir.
We are forming curriculum also, sir, regarding IoT and the single page applications. Kindly help us, sir. We will approach you.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Happy to help. Happy to help.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. That was very interesting. I now call upon Mr. Balaji, sir, to deliver the vote of thanks.
A very good morning to all. New knowledge is the most valuable commodity on the earth. It grows exponentially. The more we know, the greater our ability to learn, and the faster we expand our knowledge base. Honorable dignitaries, most valuable guests and participants, on behalf of Department of Information Technology, it gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this international conference, e-ICICN 2021. We would like to thank our respected chairman, co-chairman, and for being our backbone in all our endeavors and inspiring us. And we want to express our gratitude to Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Osvaldo Gervasi, Department of Mathematics and Computer Science, University of Perugia, Italy, who has spared his precious time for us and graced this occasion with innovative speech and presence. And we extend our sincere thanks to Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Shivakumar, Technical Solution Architect and a Specialist Advisor, NDT Data Services, Texas, USA, who honored this conference with the research-oriented speech and presence. And thank you, sir. We want to express our gratitude to Honorable Keynote Speakers, Dr. Korhan Cengiz, Department of Electronics Engineering, Trakya University, Turkey, and Dr. S.A. Amala Nirmal Das, Department of Computing, Muscat College, Muscat, and Mrs.Rose, Oviya, Ramasamy, Investment Banking Industry, New York. I thank our respected director, Dr. Subaya Bharati, and management representative, Dr. Seetharaman sir, for his active guidance in organizing this conference. And then I thank our respected principal, Dr. Raras Kumar, for his support and motivation in organizing this conference. And I would like to thank our respected vice principal, Dr. Anandakumar sir, for his support in organizing this conference. Next, I would like to thank all the heads and deans for their presence and support. And finally, I would like to thank our beloved HOD IT and convener of the conference, Dr. N. Anandi ma'am, and co-convener Dr. S. Kanagra Subaraja for their vision and commitments to work and its execution, which help us to excel in all endeavors. I wholeheartedly thank all the participants for this conference. Behind every successful program lies the manifold attempts of our dedicated and committed faculty. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the immense contribution of our dedicated faculty for this international conference. Once again, I thank you all. We look to same in the future also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. With that, we come to the end of this invocation ceremony. I would like to thank everyone for attending this session, and I will also specially thank the chief guest for giving us the wonderful informative sessions. And so that we can wrap this up. The sessions for papers presentation will be started soon. So participants, kindly join your respective session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Asanda sir. Thank you, Svikma sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you back. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
We'll keep
Bye,
in
sir.
touch. Thank you. Bye. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Garvasi sir, and thank you, Sivakumar sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.